Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Alongside spiritual worships like five pillars of worships, including Eid, Qurbani, Akika, Halal-haram rules have also remained in governance management. For example, non-sacred, nasty, harmful acts and consumptions called haram, prohibited in all religions, including Quran-Sunnah in Islam, treated as sinful acts, treated as even deceit salvation from financial difficulties, challenges like famine, hunger, unemployment, like deceit mafia, being financial mismanagement globally, like bidat, alter various of spiritual worshipping rules, akita manhas. However, total value financial negativity or controversy under Islam and global religious values are large. For example, the global peak farming market was estimated at $210.76 billion in 2024 and is projected to grow to $277.09 billion by 2029. The global alcohol beverage market size was valued at $1,624 billion in 2021, and alcoholic beverages market size is projected to reach $2,036.6 billion by 2031, growing at a CAGR of 2.2% from 2022 to 2031. Based on various recent estimates, the global cost of adulteration and related fraudulent activities in the food industries range from $30 billion to $50 billion annually. Global drug adulteration, including substandard and falsified SF medicines, results in a massive annual economic toll estimated to be up to $300 billion. The cost is not borne by a single sector but is distributed across patients, healthcare system, the legitimate pharmaceuticals industry, and society as a whole. Estimates place the annual revenue generated by prostitution worldwide to be over $100 billion. In 2021, the OECD estimated that counterfeit and pirated goods accounted for up to 2.3% of global trade, valued at approximately $467 billion. In 2017, studies cited that the market could be worth up to $1.82 trillion by 2020. As of April 2024, the combined market size of global casinos and online gambling industry reached approximately $305.8 billion. Narcotics, drugs estimated of $100 billion to $110 billion for heroin, $110 billion to $130 billion for cocaine, $75 billion for cannabis, $60 billion for synthetic, a turnover of around $400 billion per annum. The global cigarette market was valued at $1.14 trillion in 2024, and smoking $1.85 trillion. Women wear market style with fashion, inclusive, adaptive, and sustainability driven fashion trends. The global women wear market is projected to grow up from $1.10 trillion in 2025 to around $1.49 trillion by 2034, expanding at a CAGR of 3.41%. In 2023, the global women's t-shirt market was valued at approximately $24.5 billion. In 2022, the market for women's trousers, including pant, jeans, half pant, bikini, etc., was valued at $24.65 billion. The global sex toy market was valued at approximately $40 billion in 2024 and is projected to reach over $80 billion by 2030. In 2020, the EU cosmetics and personal care sector alone lost $9.6 billion in sales to intellectual property infringement. The global trade in fake goods reached an estimated $467 billion in 2021, accounting for 2.3% of all global trade. Projection of growth. The sales of counterfeit goods are projected to grow even larger, potentially reaching $1.89 trillion by 2030. The global pornography estimate the annual revenue of the global porn industry between $97 billion and $100 billion. As various studies, the global market for statues and idols is a robust industry valued at over $5 billion in 2024 and projected to grow significantly in coming decade for various uses, including religious, idol worshippings. That is forecast $15.7 billion by 2034. Testing and technology. The market for food authenticity and adulteration testing is growing rapidly, with one estimate placing the value at $2.5 billion in 2025. The size of global economy is around $115.3 trillion in 2025, according to Visual Capitalist, and the economic impact of war is generally negative, leading to destruction of physical and human capital and a reduction in growth, though specific figures vary depending on the conflict. United Nations estimate that corruption alone results in about $3.6 trillion or 5% of global GDP being paid in bribes and stolen annually. There is no specific size estimate for the global usury riba market because it is an illicit component of the wider shadow economy, which by its nature is unmeasured. The global shadow economy was estimated to represent 11.8% of global GDP in 2023. Studies estimate the shadow economy averages around 30% of the GDP across the 158 countries, with significant variation by nation. like 1.4 trillion for United States of America and $3.6 trillion for China. Our shadow economy, trade-based financial crimes, TBFC is responsible for an estimated $1.6 trillion in losses each year, nearly a third of total cost of global fraud, which stands at $5.127 trillion annually. The estimated amount of money laundered globally each year is 800 billion to $2 trillion, which is approximately 2% to 5% of the world's GDP. However, when including Islamic finance, the market was estimated to be worth only $6.25 trillion under express named Halal market. Despite much amount of implied halal market finance system within global GDP is within $115 trillion, where 90% of global GDP is halal, legitimate under Islamic finance, under current economic order, despite wasteful economy and United Economic Concept will reduce waste of economy future. However, 600 crore non-Muslims will practice now Quran-Sunnah 5 pillars of worship, including Eid, Qurbani, Aqiqah, etc., religious prayers, and it should be started very soon, like within 3 months together, where Halal-haram acts performance in life, social life, state life, working life will gradually improve under defense, exemption, or religious development of practices. Gradually, like Kosor Muslim, based on ensuring safety and security of income, earning sources, financial supports, availabilities from state and society, where Muslims also perform these as much as possible, consistency with halal, desired standard opportunities of sources of income as global employments, professional managements, financial systems are similar for all people, including Muslims, non-Muslims, strong faith, less faith, Muslims, and Qasr Muslims, or Holy Kitab Muslims, especially earlier holy books, follower called Holy Kitab. Therefore, Muslims and non-Muslims both will rarely perform 5 pillars of worships, mostly including Qasr rules with diversity, while non-Muslims remained Qasr rules of worships, especially spiritual worships, always for longer time, like next 20 to 25 years, 20 to 50 years, like eating pigs, alcohol, wearing small dresses, etc. And gradually adoption of development of religious rules and practices under defense exemption, as non-Muslims have difficulties, hereditary strong faith of Quran-Sunnah faith, deficiencies including practices, treated them as Qasr Muslim defense, where adopting new something in life needs more time and patterns, caliber, capabilities, perseverance, unity, etc. So there are no Islamic phobia across the world, adapting Islamic rules, spiritual worshipping rules in personal life with comfort and enjoyment, in state life under liberalism with modern laws. It is noted that the Muslims will also do this as part of the professions earnings despite strong faith until getting halal economic earnings, where I have already given United Economic Management in my book under global budget vision for entire mankind overcoming current and future challenges, difficulties. It is noted that pigs are not halal. Consuming pork is haram, forbidden in Islam, as stated in Quran in many verses, including Surah Al-Baqarah, 173 verse, Surah Al-Ma'idah, 3 verse, Surah Al-An'am, 145 verse, and Surah Al-Nahl, 115 verse. These verses explicitly forbid the flesh of swine, pork, considering it impure and a sin to consume, except in cases of extreme necessity, such as to prevent starvation. Under grounds of defense for economic management, like flesh of swine, economic mismanagement, shortcomings, wrongdoing, corruption, gambling, capital collection shortcoming processes, etc. are treated as usury riba under full degree of haram rule, but it is non-sinful for certain period, treating as less degree of haram, as it was occurred increasing global wealth, resolving famine, hunger, unemployment under capitalism with dire competition with industrial technological revolution and growth, investment, etc., replacing communism and socialism difficulties, deficiencies, shortcomings, where peace period stability will come soon under unity management like charitable trust in state of revolution period called industrial revolution with higher competition, where people will work for their own benefits with settlers benefits in state with companies joint venture industries getting almost similar benefits future, and state with companies owners will be the trustee and settler, where general people and they will be the jointly beneficiaries of the trust. This charitable and united management will resolve the current difficulties, especially haram activities in financial sector, as resolving this is not easy act, and as well as within very short time. For this reason, it needs longer time to resolve the difficulties, ensuring people's prosperity, livelihood, as well as stability, including good management process and time of vision. For this reason, it will be implemented gradually, taking more time. What I have already mentioned details in my book. That's all.